Hello friends and my dear students, welcome back to my channel Phoenix Physics. Today we are going to learn Gauss law. It is used to find the electric field for a given charge distribution enclosed by a closed surface. Look at the diagram. Consider a positive point charge plus Q is surrounded by an imaginary sphere of radius r. Here it is a positive point charge. You know that the electric field of the point charge is directed radially outward at all the points. Consider one small area D. Suppose if you draw one perpendicular line like this, now this area becomes area vector dA vector, because this portion will give the magnitude. What is this n cap? N cap is nothing but a unit vector. What is this dA vector? Area vector. Here E is in the same direction as n cap. So the angle between these two are 0 degree. See, both the lines are parallel. So the angle between E vector and n cap is 0 degree. The flux through the closed surface, that is phi is equal to integral of E, it is closed surface, right? Integral of E vector dot dA vector. Then how do you write E dot dA vector? You can simply write it as E dA cos theta. Here theta is equal to 0 degree. Substitute in this equation, so you can get E dA alone, because the value of cos 0 is 1. Now E is constant, so take it outside. Remaining term is integral dA. Why did I say E is constant? Because here we are taking only the magnitude of E. Magnitude of E means, what's the formula? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square alone. If it is E vector means, you can write unit vector also. Here I am considering only the magnitude of E. So E depends on R. Here I am considering spherical surface. The sphere has one radius, that is our R. This R is constant on the surface. See, suppose if you draw one line, here also the R is same. Suppose you draw another line, R is same. So R is constant, E depends on R. The magnitude of E is constant on the surface of the sphere. This is very important one. Phi E is equal to E integral dA. The surface area of the sphere, integral dA is equal to 4 pi R square. Substitute this value in this equation. So phi E is equal to E 4 pi R square. Instead of integral dA, you substitute 4 pi R square. You know the E value. What is this E value? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square. Substitute the E value. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square into 4 pi R square. Cancel this 4 pi R square. So remaining term is Q by epsilon naught. Pi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. This is our final result. This equation is valid for any arbitrary shaped surface. Look at the diagram. What is arbitrary shaped surface? Randomly chosen shape. So here I have 3 arbitrary shaped surfaces. First one is A1, second one is A2 and third one is A3. Inside these surfaces I have plus Q point charge. Now tell me what is the flux value? Here flux is nothing but Q by epsilon naught alone. Why did I say flux is equal to Q by epsilon naught? Here we have three arbitrary shaped surfaces A1, A2, A3. All are concentric circles. Concentric circle means center is same but the radius is different. See, here you can take it as R1 radius, here you can take it as R2 radius, here you can take it as R3 radius. Because each area is different, because each shape has different radius. Now tell me, how did I say the total flux is equal to Q by epsilon naught alone? Here, this flux depends only on the charge. It does not R value. See, the area depends on R. If it is circle means pi r square. If it is surface area of the sphere means 4 pi r square. Area depends on R, but the flux does not depend on the R value. It depends only on Q value. That is why I said for this diagram, the total flux phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught alone. From this we can conclude that the total flux does not depend on any shape or size of the surface. This is Gauss law. So Gauss law is applicable only for the closed surface. This is our Gauss law's expression. How do you define Gauss law? If a charge Q is enclosed by an arbitrary closed surface, then the total electric flux phi E through the closed surface is phi E is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. What is the meaning? You know that phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. See, here I have only one charge. That is why I have written phi E is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Suppose in this surface has Q1, Q2, Q3 charges means, how do you write the flux equation? Phi E is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 divided by epsilon naught. You should add all the charges. This is the meaning. So what is this Q enclosed? Q enclosed denotes charges inside the closed surface. Suppose you have only one charge means phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Suppose I have 3 charges means you can write phi is equal to Q1 plus Q2 Q3. This is called Q enclosed. So what is this Q enclosed? Q enclosed means charges inside the closed surface. This is the definition for Gauss law. Next one is discussions of Gauss law. Some other book they have given only 4 points. In my book they have given 6 points. Let us see one by one. First point, the total electric flux through the closed surface depends only on the charges enclosed by the surface. See, here inside the surface I have plus Q charge. Outside the surface I have Q1, Q2, Q3 charges. But the total electric flux phi E depends only on the charge inside the closed surface. The charges present in the outside surface will not contribute to the flux. Q by epsilon naught alone. We have to calculate only the inside charges. Next point. The total electric flux independent of the location of the charges inside the closed surface. This is cube, right? So it is a closed surface. So inside the cube, I can place the charge anywhere. See, here one charge, here one charge, here. So the total flux phi E is independent of the location of the charges inside the closed surface. This is the second point. Then third point, for a point charge, we have drawn spherical surface. This spherical surface is known as Gaussian surface. It is purely an imaginary surface. It depends only on the charge configuration. What is charge configuration? See, suppose if I have point charge, say plus q charge alone, means you can choose spherical surface. This is one wire-like structure. Inside this conductor, I have uniformly distributed charges like this. This is called linear charge distribution. Suppose if you have linear charge distribution, means you can choose cylindrical Gaussian surface. This is spherical Gaussian surface. This is cylindrical Gaussian surface. You can choose cone-like surface or cube-like surface also based on the charge configuration. One important point is Gauss law is applicable only for closed surface. Another important point is the magnitude of E is constant or same on the Gaussian surface. These two are very important point. I repeat, Gauss law is applicable only for closed surface. The magnitude of electric field is constant or same on the Gaussian surface. Fourth point, here the total flux phi is equal to closed integral E vector dot dA vector, that is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. This E is due to charges inside and outside the surface. Suppose I have spherical surface like this. Inside this surface I have Q charge. So this charge has one electric field on the surface of the sphere. Same way, outside the surface I have one charge. Outside the surface I have Q2 charge also. These charges also have electric field. So what is this E? E is due to charges inside and outside the surface. But Q denotes charges lie within the closed surface. Suppose I have closed surface, spherically closed surface like this, means inside this surface I have plus Q charge, means you can consider this charge alone. You need not worry about outside charges. This is the meaning. Here E is due to charges inside and outside the surface. Here Q denotes charges lie within the closed surface. This is our fourth point. Then fifth point, Gaussian surface cannot pass through any discrete charges because E is not well defined for discrete charges. What is the meaning? Now tell me, what is discrete charge? Discrete charge means discontinuous charges. Continuous means like this, continuous charges. Discontinuous charges means like this. Here one charge Q1, here I have charge Q2, here I have charge Q3. So these type of charges are called discrete charge. This one is called as continuous charge. These discrete charges have precise location. Now, Gaussian surface cannot pass through any discrete charges. See, this is my Gaussian surface. What is Gaussian surface? Any closed surface is called as Gaussian surface. So, inside the Gaussian surface, I have Q charge. On the surface, I have Q2 charge, Q3 charge. Here, for this Q, how do you draw electric field vector? Just radially outward direction, like this. This is my E direction. You know that E depends on R value, right? And you know that the magnitude of E is constant on the surface of the sphere. Here, for this charge, okay. How do you draw electric field line for these two charges? Because these two charges on the surface are zero, so we cannot calculate E value. That is why I said E is not well defined for discrete charges, or we can say E is not well defined at the location of charges. At the location of charges. This is the meaning. Then sixth point, Gauss law is another form of Coulomb's law. P vector can be written as F by Q naught. Suppose if you substitute F value means 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught by R square. Here I have Q naught. Cancel this Q naught, you can get Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. So, from this Coulomb's law, we can easily calculate electric field. Same way, write Gauss law. What is our Gauss law? Phi E is equal to E integral dA Q by epsilon naught. This dA is nothing but surface of the sphere. So, you can write E is equal to Q by epsilon naught 4 pi R square. Because dA is 4 pi R squared. Instead of dA, you can substitute 4 pi R square. From this Gauss law, you can easily calculate electric field value. That is why I said Gauss law is another form of Coulomb's law. Last question. Why do we study Gauss law? I already said it is used to find out the electric field. See, if you want to find out electric field means you know the relation E is equal to F by Q naught. Then why do you study Gauss law? In this formula, it is very difficult to calculate force. But Gauss easily related electric field and charge Q. That is why we are studying Gauss law. In this class, we discussed about what is Gauss law. Then we discussed 6 important points. First one is the total flux through the closed surface depends only on the charges inside the surface. And this total flux is independent of the location of the charges. Third one, this spherical surface is called as Gaussian surface. It is an imaginary surface. It depends on the charge configuration. It can be sphere or cylinder or cone or cube shape also. Fourth one is phi E is equal to integral E dot dA equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. Here E depends on the inside and outside charges, but here Q enclosed denotes charges inside the Gaussian surface. Then fifth point, Gaussian surface cannot pass through any discrete charges. Then sixth point, Gauss law is another form of Coulomb's law. I hope this video is useful to you. If you like my video, please share and subscribe my video. Thank you.